What's up?
Okay. Hey, what's up, everyone? So this is episode 1. So we have here is Mark. Last name is
Bradley, yeah.
Bradley, I got it right.
Yeah. What was yours, by the way, your last name?
Win,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're going to go to yoga class after this, and I was like, what is his last name? I was just like,
That's okay.
Yeah, and I guessed it right. It was Bradley.
Cool. No, there you go. Better memory than what I had. Because I was like, oh, I remember the face. It's just sometimes like the names kind of leave me, you know.
Well, actually, I went by a different name in high school.
I thought, okay, so I actually thought that because when you said Logan, I remember.
You're like, you've never
I remember
met
going,
Logan. No.
I don't recall Logan. However, I also couldn't go, well, maybe it was. I don't want to be a dickhead. And like, it wasn't your name, was it?
Yeah,
Like,
so,
blah, blah. So, what did you go by?
I went by Quang.
Quang, okay.
Quang.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm mispronouncing my name. But the truth is, that's actually not how you pronounce it. And so I just go by Logan. It's so much easier.
Yeah. Well, and also, too, you have a lot of Americans who not only will botch it, but then they're like, Quang, and then they're making fun of you at that, and you're like, all right, unless you know the guy well.
Or they're trying too hard. Yeah. I'm just like, cringe.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have my full name pronounced correctly or not. So
yeah,
it's just
I'm
like,
with you.
My name is a little bit tricky. So this is Mark Bradley.
What's up?
He is, I ran into him a month ago, and we just have a moment where I was like, whoa. It's like I don't know, like, you know how you have flashback, or not a flashback, like a feeling. You're like, whoa. Like,
there's familiarity.
Yeah, familiarity.
Yeah, and it's nostalgia too. So it's always like you kind of are like, yo.
Yeah,
I recognize you, and then the other one that kicks in is like, wait, this is like 15 years ago almost.
Yeah,
like, about 17 years. Yeah, we have our.
In
3 years from now, we're gonna have our 20-year reunion.
Oh shit! Have you gone to any of them?
I didn't go to the first one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I wasn't really, honestly, it sucks. I wasn't really in the best place in the 20s for me to kind of feel comfortable and like kind of there to go. You know,
it's so weird. I would love to like maybe meet some people and like from high school and hear their story. Maybe like, because I had no idea. I always thought you were a popular guy. You know,
well,
okay, let me share my perception.
Okay, yeah.
And then you can share. But before we get into that, so we met on the bus, and that's how I know Mark.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
We rode the same bus.
Yeah.
We were in the same neighborhood, and he would eventually had English class. We had English class together.
There was also an elective class I think we also were a part of as well. I can't remember. I don't know if it was the Spanish or PE or anything.
Okay.
But
we took English.
I could have sworn it was not only the English, but I thought that there was another class. I'm sorry, I can't like recall. It's been such a long time ago. But yeah, it was like, because you know how in high school, because when you were early in the middle school, you had your one class, right? Yeah. And then when you get to middle school and high school, you're sort of like, oh, how many classes am I taking with you kind of moment.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, and it goes so quickly.
Yeah.
And of course, like depending, if you went in honors, I didn't go honors.
Yeah.
You know, I did the regular class.
I kind of regret that. The honors kids were mean.
Well, honestly, I mean, it's weird. I mean, if I would have tried hard, I know school's really changed quite a bit there. I just, unfortunately, you know, that's probably one of the problems if I kind of like smoked weed earlier on long.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I probably would have waited
to
smoke like maybe after school, but it kind of made me like comfortable with being lazy kind of thing.
Yeah.
And no, unfortunately, probably like it made me sort of check out through the 9th, 10th, 11th grade where I wasn't really committed in the school. I kind of like rebelled and didn't really work hard at school. It wasn't that I was a stupid kid. You know, I'm sure if I dedicated myself to really learn it, A's all the way.
I had no idea because I didn't talk to anybody, so everybody's world was kind of like separate for me. Because I know there were some people around me that were kind of like you're like oh, goofballs and whatnot. But I didn't know you that much.
Yeah.
But from like our interaction, you were just so nice.
Yeah.
And I always thought you were like the popular kid.
Well, you know, it's funny because I think popularity can be defined in many, many different ways. You have your like football player popular, or you have your kind of cheerleader who's the hottest girl in there popular kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And then of course you have people
cheerleader,
or you have the people who know where to get all the drugs, so he's popular.
The drug. Okay, let's name out the popular people.
Or you have the person who has like kind of the cars and hot rodding and give to everybody, you know.
Okay.
So you have the sports jocks. Because honestly, I think
the football jocks. Right?
Yeah, the jocks, the cheerleaders. You know, like I said, there's different popularities. Now, for my popularity, I mean, I would think that I knew all this circle of people that were considered, you know, known, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how else to really describe it, but you know how you had the cool boys club or whatever you want to call it.
Cool
like
boys
that.
club?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, you know, like all the sports guys, all the good-looking ones,
Yeah.
and the ones that kind of have like a little bit more money than others.
Yeah.
I mean, or just
Yeah. The
I don't know if
jerky
that's really
and the cars, money.
yeah, and I don't know if that's really articulate enough, but
No, I think you hit. I mean, we can just create our own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Bless you.
the label, but it's a thing. The hot cheerleader, like
There is.
They just.
You have your groups. Like I
Yeah.
don't know if you ever remember, like you had like the boy jock club, you know. Then you
Yeah.
had the kids like I don't know if people call them goth kids or emo, but
Oh,
the ones
the
who
goth
drove up.
kids.
No,
Oh
and
my
actually
God.
I know still a couple for this day. You know where you had like all the
They
black
are.
lines. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. You had all the guys who probably were in the skaters club. You know, so you had people skateboarding
Okay.
in there in that club, right? You had probably people. I don't want to say chess club. I don't want to say nerd club because I think we're nerds of everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I could be a nerd of sports. I could be
Yeah.
a nerd in car. Like everyone wants to say, "Oh, you're a nerd because you
Yeah.
read books or you watch like some sort of like science book or whatever you want to call it."
Yeah.
But ultimately, we're nerds of everything.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
So you saying that your group was nerds of everything? Okay.
Yeah, no,
so-
I like. See, that's what I like being. I kind of like a little bit of everything, honestly. I like sports. Absolutely, love sports. I grew up playing sports. I was a good athlete.
Yeah.
You know that. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm trying.
Hey,
Hey, we're
okay, making a
upgrading.
quick adjustment here.
Quick
Okay.
adjustment.
Quick adjustment.
Mic check.
Yes, there we go.
Pilot
We
episode.
gotta edit out the chin here, make it a little thinner.
Make you thinner. We're gonna
A little
put
wig
you
on top.
a little wig.
Yeah, make a cool Elvis hat or not Elvis wig right up here, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We're gonna make you from Mark Bradley to like Mark Wahlberg.
yeah. Marky Mark of the Funky Bunch. That was a nickname you probably got quite a bit too. But yeah, so it's just kind of So no, like I said, I think you just have all those little groups, and you know, you really want to find. It sucks I didn't know this right now. You just want to find the group that fits for you.
Yeah.
And I like a little bit of everything. You know,
Yeah.
I'll go and play sports. I'll watch anime. You know, I'll go and like you said, rock climbing. I don't mind watching and seeing what that's about. You know, you can go to art museums. You can go to maybe some book clubs or maybe some science museums, or you can go play in some backyard games or anything else. Like
Yeah.
I like to do all that as long as it's with good people.
Yeah.
I think that's really the most important for me is when
Did you enjoy your time in high school?
you know, it wasn't the best.
It wasn't the best.
Nah, I unfortunately was so unsure of myself, and I had a lot of anxiety and nervousness, and sometimes it was hard for me to like kind of pull the trigger on doing stuff like either the pressure of like you're going to get out of high school, you're going to go to college.
Oh my
You're
God.
going to be the successful. So it's sort of like got in my head to be like, oh, I better do this.
Where are you, like in the totem pole kind of thing?
And then what's the other problem? So like the story that I have in high school is not going to really be a great success. Like, man, I had this lined up.
Yeah.
I did this. It really was sort of like the other direction where, you know, you not only have that nervousness where sometimes like, you know, your throat feels caught and your stomach feels like it knots. And
Oh yeah.
there's no really particular reason. It just sort
Yeah.
of happens and you
Yeah.
have to really manage through that. That's hard
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
know, so I chose the easy things, right? You know, like playing World of Warcraft. You know,
Yeah.
because like
So like when you socialize it.
yeah, so now I gotta tell you right now, I today, being 35, have no problem going into a crowd of people as long as they're cool and just being me, because I'm very
Yeah.
comfortable with that today.
Yeah.
That wasn't like that when I was 20. Like I sort of like either saw
When you were 20 in
yeah,
high
no,
school?
like I couldn't stand being like embarrassed in front of somebody. You know, I'd take it like too literal, or
Yeah.
like so. Like why I say World of Warcraft is because you're sort of behind the screen and you can kind of you can socialize with kids that
Yeah.
sort of thing, and it kind of fit the group.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Wow.
it really allowed me not to really progress, like going through the hard part of like, okay, what do
Yeah.
you want to do? How do you want to grow? What do you want to do for Phil? Like I was sort of like all over the place, you know. And then of course I had a couple of health issues that didn't really help me, like lower back and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of kind of struggle finding out what. I mean, I'm still kind of there right now,
So-
but there's
so
a lot
what
of good
did you-
things happen.
So when you were in high school, what were you trying to figure? Like, what were your plans? What did
I
you?
really didn't have any, man.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate. Like I kind of wanted to try to like either get into golf or something, but that didn't really stick.
Did you play golf in high school?
Not in high school, but I really like it today.
Yeah.
If I were to say one, like everybody's got the one thing they wish to go back and do that. I don't think anybody does. If there was one thing, I wish I'd have played high school golf.
Golf?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one. I think
yeah.
I think
You
the
know?
one thing for me, I would have taken up a sport, and the one sport I would have taken is swimming.
Yeah.
I don't know, but then I think you have to like compete and all of that. I just wanted to swim.
Yeah.
Like
I'm with you.
I just wanted to like swim. I don't mind just sitting out during the competition.
Yeah.
I just want to go for the swimming.
Yeah. I can tell you where it sort of started.
Yeah.
So played
With
sport.
golfing?
No, like kind of when it kind of started with like the unsureness and didn't really want to do much after high school. Like, and I don't mind telling this because I think it's good to be able to live this. So you got a lot of people who kind of like they have the struggles and problems and they really don't want to say anything and they want to hide it.
Yeah. And I think people still do that today.
They do. Oh no, even to this day.
So that's I mean, that's kind of like the genesis of this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, I feel like it just blew my mind because I was having all sorts of struggles, you know, which we won't get into today. But I started to talk to people, and everyone kind of have their own like narrative and challenges that they're going through, and it's really interesting how we can perceive people, and then we think like, oh, everyone got it together, and I'm the only one.
That's true.
When you don't talk, and I think talking more about it, it's just like it feels like, oh, we're all human. We're all just trying to figure it out. You know?
No, I'm with you. It's just sometimes like I remember doing that kind of struggle where you just sort of like you didn't want people to see it because you just felt in your own head that, oh my God, they're gonna be embarrassed of me and oh, they're gonna see me different.
Yeah, they're gonna judge you.
When it's not that way on the outside. It's not. It never is. It's so weird how that kind of works. How because you want to tell yourself that and you are, but then this emotional psyche is going through your brain waves and you're kind of like, I really want to, but it's making it harder right now. You know, kind of thing.
And the thing is, like, so what you think inside, but in the reality. But sometimes there are people that do, you know, that, you know, like, so you have your internal, what you think, right? And then what actually reality is maybe different. But there are some people that do certain things that makes that affirm what you think.
Yeah, no.
Does that make sense? You're like, oh, the world does suck. People do suck.
Yeah, well, no, I remember you hear that all the time. But you know what? I always try to get to people. I'm like, look, we see everything we're used to seeing from whatever source we get it from. So, like, if you can go on Facebook or any social media or any news outlet, doesn't matter which one.
Yeah.
They have an agenda to go. We need people to watch our stuff. It doesn't matter what it is. But what sells is like the bad stories, the kind of things going on because they're like train wrecks. We don't want them to happen, but we can't take our eyes off it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, but I think unfortunately that magnifies to people to believe that, oh my God, there's just all this bad going on, which is not untrue, but there's a lot more good going on out there, and all that bad is not like 50 or 60% of stuff, right?
Right.
80% or 90% of people are just are fine. You just want to live their life and just kind of engage and do their thing. You're always going to have hiccups with people. That's just how it goes. But you know, you're never going to see like how people contributed to communities or how people have like opened up social programs for these like poor kind of kids to go or any of that stuff. That kind of goes into the limelight because if someone's struggling, they don't want to read that.
Yeah.
For example, when I was struggling, I don't want to hear someone's success story.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, screw you, I need to be successful.
Yeah.
And this is all just psychological, emotional kind of thing, right? But then you want to read the other one because then it makes you want to validate. Oh my God, they're going a lot worse than me, so therefore I'm good.
Yeah. So what is the
right?
Like, so you find other people that are like in the that are not maybe like not your idea. I don't know. Like it's just.
But it's I think the magnifying glass, like it's like a science thing where you put some of the magnifying glass and what's magnified right now is a lot of the stuff that's kind of going out and it happens to be like what's bad reporting, especially the political divide, where someone, and I've seen this before, where if someone finds out they vote the opposite of how they feel, regardless of what it is, it's
and that
like
person is like you're like
shut down. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, you become a dirtbag.
It's weird.
Yeah,
and I've sort of been a victim of that too-ish. I try not to, but
that way. Who knows? We end up in a fist fight at the end.
Yeah, no, it's pretty amazing how it happens.
Yeah, but I think with me, I'm just kind of like not really into politics, so
yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I mean, I try to pay attention enough where it's like, oh, I want to be completely shut out.
Yeah,
but it's also like I can't go it from these sources because I know that they have a formula to follow.
Yeah.
I like when I watch any of them.
It's just very robotic.
There's a formula they follow. They have to get viewers, and I know that they're gonna like be able to put these on the screen to attract viewers.
Yeah.
That's their only objective. Everyone kind of thinks like, oh man, they're on the side. It's like, no, if all of a sudden, and like I said, I use both examples. Yeah. Really. If one side decide to go, we don't like seeing that, we want to see this, that immediate station will be like, all right, we're going to show you this. Right. That's what you like. They like money.
Right.
It's all about money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that kind of make things go around, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But just circling back, you said, where did it start for you? Like this kind of fear.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So I was was good at sports.
Yeah.
I felt like I could have probably played college ball pretty well. Pros now.
Football?
Yeah, football, baseball.
Were you in football?
I was, but that's where this is where kind of the meat of the story is. You know, so I had that was sort of that confidence that I had as kind of a bigger guy, and I was younger, and I was pretty athletic. I was fast, so I was good at sports.
Yeah.
I really did. I was probably in the top 20, and I played high school ball. I was probably top 20% of me. That's how I really felt.
Yeah.
And I had that validated because the coach that I had. Did you ever have a guy named Coach Heath? He teach biology.
He teach biology. Yeah.
So I had him too.
Yeah.
So what he is a teacher and a football coach are kind of two different things, right? So how did this go? So when it was the first day of school, we had to get practice. Well, it was our year to get 7th period PE in order for us to join the practice so we could have a little longer time, right? Okay, so first day I get my schedule. I was scheduled 4th period PE.
Okay.
I happen to have him as my biology teacher. So I go into the period and I was like, hey man, coach, I just want to let you know that they assigned me this class. I got to go and switch it around. Like, I'm probably not going to be out in practice until after 7th period. He was like, no, thanks for showing me. I appreciate that. You know, let's get it fixed and we'll go from there. Yeah. Cool. Sounds good. Okay, so I change, go to practice. Everybody's already out there. Apparently I was the only one that didn't get 7th period PE. I go there, and as I'm running up, that coach, he starts yelling at me. Bradley, where the fuck have you been? God damn it, you were supposed to be here 7th period. And as I'm going up, I was like, dude, I told you what the situation was. So, and he cut me off, and he basically made me run gassers to punish me in front of the team. He made the team watch me run gassers to punish me because
what is gasser?
You take the width of a field and you run there, back, back. That's a gasser.
Okay.
Yeah. So
because you run out of steam.
Yeah. So.
But so you did not sign up 7th period because.
All you did was you tell them what sports you were going to play, and you say like I'm playing the sports in 7th period. So you request it, but it's up to them to go. Okay, here's 7th period PE. Yeah. That's sort of
the teacher.
Yeah, anybody writes a schedule. I think they had a little form that you sign that says like, you're playing this kind of sport, please require this, right? You turn it in.
Yeah.
But back to the practice. So he starts yelling at me, acting like it was my fault that I didn't schedule myself 7th period PE. So
is it the counselor that scheduled it, or
I don't know. Regardless, it got messed up. I don't know who would win. But anyway, so I go up there, and he was pissed with me that I was late for 50 minutes, even though I thoroughly showed him that I didn't have it. Yeah. Maybe run gassers to start off. So it started. Then I had played left tackle all summer camp. That was the position that they put me in. That was the playbook that I memorized, because in football, certain times you either stay your position, other times like you have a guard pull to the right, or you have the tackle kind of swing to the left, like, so you have an assignment for your play, right? Mm-hmm. And I would practice left tackle. Well, after warm-ups, he said, Bradley playing right guard.
Right guard.
So left tackle, right guard. So he then switched me to a position that I was not familiar with, and I had no study time for whatsoever. Yeah. First play they run, apparently I was supposed to pull and block this way, and I didn't. And of course, what does he do? Bradley, what the fuck are you doing? You were supposed to pull that play. Have you not been looking or any of this other stuff? And as I'm trying to go, I'm going on left tackle. He grabs my face mask, and he's like, everybody gather around. This is an example of what happens when you don't pay attention. Oh, dude, he really did something to me that was not only disrespectful, but the fact that I took my time to go, hey, this is what was given to me. Yeah. And I was punished for somebody else's kind of either mishap, which is not malicious or anything. I really took that personally. And even today at 35, I took that very personally. I would never do, if I was a coach, I'd never do that to anybody. I would never do that. Yeah. And this is a guy who was a first-year coach who came right out of the military, Marine. So he was a Marine. He was a Marine. So he wanted to install this whole, like, well, you're this and that. And that can be fine, except to me, a good coach.
How do you get a coach? I had no idea they were from military.
Right, no. So for me, a good coach is malleable to each of their players. Right? Yeah. So that coaching style will work for some. I've seen it before. They're like, oh man, I'm not good unless I'm yelled at. Yeah. And others are like, no, just tell me what I can do. I can correct it. I'm the kind of guy that's like, yo, don't grab my face with yell, just tell me, right? So all of a sudden, that practice goes, and he's just belittling me the whole time, embarrassed in front of all these people. And I go the next day, and I'm like, I quit.
Wow.
I just quit. And of course, I could tell in his voice, he's like, man, why are you quitting? I was like, dude, I didn't like what you did yesterday. He's like, oh, that's just me being tough. He's like, man, you're a good player. I don't want to lose you. Like, please. So I was like, no.
Wow.
I was like, I don't want to play with you. And that was the unfortunate part. Is when I got out of sports, it kind of just went downhill from there.
Wow.
Because I didn't have anything else to like go, I'm good at this. I'm going to grab onto that. And it kind of traumatized me to play more sports going on because I had such a bad experience with that I let it sort of get to me a little bit to not move on from the process and be like, well, let me try another coach.
Yeah.
And
could you have another football coach, or is it just
that would have been him?
Wow.
Unless I would have made the JV team or the varsity team.
I never get what is that like?
Yeah, they have 3 different teams.
Yeah.
They have the freshman team, which is just freshmen. They have the JV, which is junior varsity, which is consists of pretty much freshman, sophomore, junior team, whatever.
So it's everybody, but it's just
they're like 18B team, and then the varsity team's like 18.
Okay.
Like they're the teams. So if you see the schedule and you go to a football game, that you pay the $10 ticket, and you're seeing the varsity team.
Oh, okay.
That's what you're seeing, right? And instead of me, and I had a harder time probably kind of moving on and not understanding, well, that's just a style.
You took that
I took it a little too, yeah.
That you felt like that there's something.
Yeah, and I took it personally. I think if I were to go back today, I could have been like, okay, that's him. I don't want to play for him, but I'll play for somebody else.
Yeah.
I wish I would have done that. That's one I wish, but unfortunately, it was too hard for me to kind of unwrap my head.
As a high schooler, that's hard. There's a lot of psychological. This is a authority figure in a way. Were you able to kind of talk to people or
it was hard for me to talk to people.
Yeah.
That's where the hard crack came in.
That.
Yeah. Like today at 35, a lot has happened, and a couple of one book in particular kind of made me go, oh man, I can see this differently. Like I didn't change anything. It just gave me a new sort of lens to look through.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that lens
when
I was 15 through about 28 or 29 kind of thing. So that really was a detrimental kind of you get one thing you're good at, and it's sort of like you don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
Then I tried basketball. I wasn't a basketball player.
Yeah.
I had people who were better than me at basketball. Let's just say that. That was a way.
I just kind of wish.
That was an meeting. I'm like, okay, I'm not in basketball. That's fine. That's fine. I have no problem with that.
I wish high school had sports where you could just participate and just have fun.
Yeah, that's what and that's what I kind of want to do. I told you about my scouting there, but yeah, that's what I want to do. It's the fun sports. See, that's why I love sports as a kid. When you were a kid, yes, you won sure, but what was gratifying about it is you really were there to have fun.
Yeah. Why don't they don't have it anymore? It's just all competition.
Well, I feel like it's there, except I feel like once you get into high school, that's where the shift starts.
Yeah.
Example is when I told a man my elbow's hurt and I don't know if I can play. It's like, can you play or not? We don't care if you can or not. We just want to know.
Yeah.
You start to get that kind of treatment. And then you get to college, it turns into a little bit of a business. Can you go or not? If you can't, I got somebody else. I don't have time for this. And that's just the system there, right? Instead of being like, I can't believe I made the system. That's what it's introduced, and that's where it is right now until things change, whatever.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want to kind of participate under the coach that I had then in the system. I just didn't. Yeah. That's why I say golf, because that coach there, I don't know if you had Coach Mios or Mios or something like that. He was a really cool guy.
Oh, so you did golf in high school?
I wish I would have, because the guy who did the golf was a really cool guy.
Yeah.
But again, when you're 17, 18, you're just so unsure and you just want to block it out and you don't want to talk to anybody. You want to be shy. You want to stay in the corner and you just want to hope no one shines a light and you want to hope things go away.
Yeah.
Which obviously I try to do, but it doesn't work that way.
So how was it? Were you still hanging out with the football people afterwards, or was it just
No, not really.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, there was another kind of set of people I'd hang out with too. It would kind of bounce around a little bit, but that jock world I didn't really hang out with too much. I mean, some parties, somebody would talk and everything, but I wouldn't call and be like, yo, let's meet up.
Yeah.
That's the kind of hang out I'm talking about, So I don't know if you remember Alex Nanola. Chris. Okay. Anyway,
no. Tell me the name, but
Chris Arregondo. There was Bo
I
Crisco.
heard the name. Yeah.
It was that.
Oh,
crowd.
I know. I think I know Chris Arregondo. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Arregondo. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
There's Aaron Sarley. There was kind of Evan McKenzie. There was kind of that crowd. You sort of okay, we were kind of hanging around that one,
It's so weird. You say those names, I'm like, oh my
god. Yeah, no. And I'm sure if you see the face, you're like, yeah, I know the face.
Yeah, it was it's so weird. I just whoa, I just feel like I'm back in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's just so weird. I just have a flashback. I was in art class. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think he was in my art class. That's why I was like, Evan McKenzie.
Yeah. No, he was. So he's been out. But so that was sort of kind of unfortunate, sort of sequence of events that happened in high school that kind of led to a little bit of a down slope.
Yeah.
And then, of course, in the mid-20s, still unsure, still
Like,
Just
what
going
do you
from
do? What did you do after high school?
It was so let me try to get this right. I remember going to McCormick and Schmick's for a while. That was it was a seafood restaurant, and I was there for about 3 years. You know, from the busser server stuff. The one job I thought was really cool was being a 4 caddy, and it's like basically a caddy for a group of 4 people who play around a golf.
What is it, 4 caddy?
Yeah, so all it is 4 people show up to play around a golf. They basically have let's think of it like an assistant, right? They're the person who's gonna like help kind of clean your clubs, help maintain things. Like if you're on the course, they're a course guider, so if they never played there before, you're like, okay, we have about 380 yards down. You want to miss right, not left. So you sort of like tell them like, hey, this is where big mistakes are. This is a little mistake, you know. Okay, like helping read greens, you know, helping spot where the stuff like that, you know. And it was cool because it was like 5 hours of work. You got to run around in the sun.
Yeah.
You got to play, you know, got to get some golf balls, play some free golf. But the lady who ran it was a very, very disappointing person.
Yeah.
I could use choice words, but for this choice interview, let me just say that the person really had no way to either kind of sit down with somebody, talk to them. Is anytime someone had a problem, she would always go, it's your fault.
Wow.
That's the kind of person she was, and I can't work for anybody under that leadership. If you're a leader and you have no ability to look yourself in the mirror or just go, okay, are we having a talk like us, we reevaluate this or anything?
Yeah.
She was very, very selfish, conniving, and had no interest in hearing other people's problems. She was in charge of all this. Yeah. And everybody underneath her was great.
Yeah.
But she wasn't. But that was one of the jobs I really liked because that was cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to go to different golf courses. Like I got to play a couple of cool courses. Yeah. Like there's TPC San Antonio, which is a pro event.
Yeah.
The Valero Open, I think. Although I'll double check that. Don't write that down. You might have to edit that. Regardless.
No, I'm just like.
Or edit that. Well, regardless. But yeah.
This is just like a mind map.
Yeah.
It's more like, oh, gasser. What is that? I'm gonna Google that.
Yeah. So it's and I got to play some really professional courses for free, which is really cool.
That's really
cool.
No,
because you play like regular courses, that's fine. You go to some of these professional, dude, they are immaculately in stupid good shape.
Yeah.
You go from, okay, perfect example. It's like doing yoga with no mat, and then you actually have a mat, and you have that nice tiny bit of cushion for relief.
Yeah.
That's what a good golf course is.
Yeah.
It's that yoga mat that you're not hitting off like this thud, or you're not resting your back on, a hard.
So is it real grass, or is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. St. August. Not St. Augustine. Bermuda. I think is the type they use in the hotter weathers.
I don't know. That's a dumb question.
Yeah. No, that's okay. No.
We're going into like.
Yeah.
But okay. For some reason, sometimes I thought it was like fake grass for some reason. But okay, cool.
No, they do use real grass. They have a whole system set. They even have different types for different weather elements that fare better in the type.
Yeah.
Than like dry, moist, or hot, cold kind of thing.
So you did that for a while, and then what did you do next?
Yeah, no, then it was like an Italian restaurant, probably. A place out in Lakeway, Rocco's Grill. Okay. That was like probably got my kind of serving and bartending over there for a little bit, and that wasn't actually too bad. That was a pretty good lunch, except it was like an hour drive there and back. But it got me my experience that I needed, which was pretty good actually. And then there was definitely a time where I probably didn't work for like maybe a year or something.
Yeah. What did you do? What happened?
I'm trying to think of what I did after that. Man, I have to look and see what's up. Oh, what do you mean? I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Like for a year and a half, you took a break.
Yeah, I just was like not. I just didn't really do much. I know, like I said, that whole downturn. Sometimes you live in your own head too much, and you kind of like, I'm afraid to pull the trigger to go forward.
Yeah.
And you just had that mental psyche that kind of like stopped you from really